Exemptions. This article should now be applicable to single family homes and duplexes. I think I've heard any proposal to change that. This article shall not be.
This is an area where there are, it may be given neighborhood code that we want to expand this to triplexes and fourplexes. That there's an area that, is, I think, maybe more fitting for the home ownership opportunities that people are looking at. So I actually want to be somewhat open to this.
But this is restrictions.
I understand. It's exemptions
from the restrictions.
From the ordinance. It means that an ordinance that right now a single family home is not subject to this. You can condoize your thing without regard to this. Same thing with a duplex. Whether the work that we did.
It means you can. So I have a duplex. I can condoize it.
That's what it means.
Yes.
So yeah, it does maybe change the parade of horribles, but be that as it may, that's lawyer talk actually, believe it or not. Whether the neighborhood code is going to be effective, if it is effective in the way that the pictures show to us, we're gonna have a lot of like quads, so
right.
and triplexes. So maybe that is an area that if you're looking for more home ownership in this context, right? We want to do something where maybe that's a place that I'd be interested in going, particularly because we'd have to have the numbers from the assessor's office to see how many more units.
Yeah, but these are exempt.
Yeah.
So these
I would be to expand the exemptions. I am actually, believe it or not, suggesting that we look at the numbers that of units, and that's would be the request to the assessor's office. If we were to make this exemption applicable to triplexes, for example.
But it is applicable because it's a land tract with
No, the exemption applicable.
It is applicable.
No, it is not. No, because all of the following. Look at that. I didn't read it
all of the following.
All of the following. So the next one is it's not just developments that have 10 or that have a deed restriction or that are located.
Okay, well, we were on A.
Exactly. And until you like to tell me that I didn't need to be suggesting this because B is taking care of it. Now I have to bring you back to B, and so now you see where I am going. I think that it would be helpful for us to know from the assessors numbers and perhaps even the locations in relationship to the new neighborhood code that we've just done.
Does that have anything about condos in it?
What it did was allow, even in the areas that we did not eliminate from residential low density, we increased the density in every part of the city, and therefore the concept underlying that was okay that we were going to build these little triplexes and quads and there's this townhouses. You remember those pretty pictures that were the sellers.
I'm just wondering if condos were called out. I don't think anything, because I read that all because I felt like it really missed out on. I felt like it was in the keys to the city over to rental housing developers and really missed the mark off them. Home ownership opportunities. So I don't think there's anything in there about condos.
No, it's not really the point that I'm making with reference to the neighborhood code is that if you look at this in the context of other housing policies, we are encouraging infill development, for lack of a better even in the low density areas. And that has been presented as therefore the opportunity to build triplexes and quads. And those would, particularly in their hard, you're talking about the financing. That's another issue of which we have no control over, absolute, something radical, which I will not mention. No applicability to this. So I'm suggesting that if you're looking for an opportunity to expand ownership, that expanding an exemption to triplexes and quads would be an interesting thing to explore. And because I have a concern about displacement, and in my neighborhood, we'd actually, in the old North End, most of the units are not big units. There's lots of quads, there are lots of triplexes. So I don't know that this is a good idea on my part, but I'm willing to look at the numbers and the locations, knowing full well that part of what we're doing is also zoning changes that could be useful in this concept, and even people building rental housing.
Right.
So, and maybe that is a way, to circumvent the financial industry, and and doing it with smaller units means actually that people less money, not big investor developers, would have a greater opportunity to build a triplex than they would build a 20.
I don't think this has anything to do with the neighborhood code.
Okay,
People
then you don't
building
need to-
triplexes because that's not a conversion. And so it doesn't
It could be a conversion. You're looking also at this will have.
So they built it as rental housing
and
and then they want to convert.
Yeah, that's a possibility here.
Yes.
And in fact, like I said, and I'm not saying that I'm sold on this, right? I'm just saying I'm throwing this out as
It's basically adding triplexes and quads.
triplexes and quads and just trying to get the information that would, for me,
So what information do you?
I want to know like the numbers of triplexes, the numbers of quads. I want to know like where they are that exist, and then I don't actually have a problem with a new triplex or quad in the new North End being built as rental and then converted to a condominium. I don't got a problem with that. I mean,
I will say my experience of duplex and quad, this was something we changed because we didn't used to allow the conversion of these smaller units. And now we do. The problem with living in a neighborhood where we have condominiums in fourplexes and we have condominiums in duplexes, as well as situations, it's not actually a condominium, but separate deeds. A duplex where each side is a separate deed, not a condominium, and they don't even have a shared wall. It's very difficult to run at that scale, a condominium, because your roof is leaking and you need 3 of the 4 to say, yes, we're going to repair the roof, and the funds aren't there and the buildings deteriorate, and it's these are not the most ideal situations for condominiums in my opinion. But we can, if what you want is the I don't particularly, I mean, they're turning into condominiums anyway. That has definitely happened in.
So if triplexes are turning into condominiums, anything, right? And
And
they are,
fourplexes.
and quads are as well. They are subject to this, now whether we're enforcing, we're in this ordinance. They're not exempt from this ordinance unless, they're not exempt from this ordinance unless they've got a deed restriction making these 25 portable. And they're located that contains in a census block that contains less than 50% home ownership.
Yeah, so a fourplex with one, and we're for a triplex, but
Yeah.
a fourplex with one affordable
Yeah.
unit can do this.
Yeah,
Most of the city is less than 50% home ownership, probably not in the North End.
so, I'm,
Or else somebody's just a.
So you want that
I
information?
just want to be able to see whether
Yeah.
this would work. And to the extent to which there is information that would indicate that condominiumization is occurring in triplexes and quads already under the existing regulatory regime, I would like to understand, I would like to know that. So I trust your representation. I'd like some verification, which would make it, that would be very helpful to us.
And also, so I have I'm open, I think it's great to just get the information and assess. I do have a lot of concerns around anything that encourages a single family home to be split up into multiple units, because we just have so few single family homes available for families in this city. And so I guess, could we also see, I'm curious to know what the trend line is, are more single family homes being converted into duplexes, or are more duplexes being converted back into single family?
I think that's driven by the market in a way that makes sense to the community. There's actually plenty of buildings on South Union Street that have been very successfully converted into multiple units, even though they used to be mansions.
That's so in the Buell and the Pomeroy Park area.
I guess I would just.
My residents, my constituents would fight over the favorability of that. I totally.
I just want to make sure that we're not accidentally encouraging people to split up single family homes all over town into fourplexes in some way. That's all, that's my concern. I don't know that we're doing it.
Yeah.
Of course, that is a problem with the whole process of encouraging condominiumization.
It's also not a conversion of rental. You'd have, for it to fall into this, it has to first be converted into 4 rental units and then be converted from 4 rental units into a condo.
This is only rental to.
Yeah.
Okay. Good, yes, you're right. Okay, thank you.
So we're kind of running out of time here. What's our next meeting? Do you have your whole, I think you've been keeping a list, Kim, of all the things that we're looking for
Yes.
more information on?
Yes, I do.
Lucky's
They're-
Dodge.
Yep. They
I
are,
found this helpful to them.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
We are on the 26th at 7.
Yes. And I'm gonna, at that, I am going to have to be remote.
Okay.
John, if you end up being remote, I just ask that you tell me, because I don't want to be the only one.
Okay.
If 2 of us are remote, I feel like it should be an entirely remote meeting, right?
Okay. I think we still have to, don't we just have, staff has to be present to open the rooms, staff to hold them? Somebody has to still.
yes, I believe now, although, and the rule goes for advisory, it's really questionable whether you're an advisory committee, but, then yes, staff will still be here, which is fine. You can open the room, but still fully remoted.
We're benching.
Okay.
I mean, we're meeting at 7. I actually would have the ability to meet earlier in the day. But I actually would rather not. I've got grandkids.
I would rather meet right at 1 o'clock.
Oh, that would not work.
Make a goal.
That won't work.
So
That
that
won't
doesn't
work. That won't work. Yeah, I've got to occupy 4 and that about that. So.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm the prime Jesse.
so we still need to get our trespass ordinance. I think you needed more time with that. And we want to have the resolution for that. So at our next meeting, let's do the trespass ordinance. And then condo conversion.
Can we do condo conversion first so that Michael can
Yes,
participate?
yes, we can do that.
Of course, it's at night, so Brian was not able. I mean, I think having Brian here really.
Okay, so condo
Say
conversion
invite
first.
short.
And then what else do we have?
So yeah, condo and trespass, the others that are pending right now are graffiti and just.
Okay, so let's go back to graffiti and then policing. Okay,
You're gonna do all 4?
I don't know, but
I mean, to the extent to which you're not ambitious with the condo conversion, you can pull that off. Then, but
You have a deadline.
yeah. Yeah.
it would seem to me
The condo conversion is I think it's gonna take us a while.
it would seem to me that of the.
But I wanna get the
graffiti
information.
is not as, unless there is a red line there, the graffiti of the 4 is the less, so.
Yeah,
um,
I'd like to get the information on the condo conversion on the 26th, so even if we don't talk about it, we're just having that.
And I would like Michael and Brian to.
Yes,
To weigh
And
in,
if
so we get
Michael-
them earlier, so we've gone through the purposes.
Yeah.
So to have them weigh in on that.
okay, so
Part
you
as
can
well.
share that with them. And. Yeah, we can. You're gonna have that meeting.
600, yes, my no.
Okay. All right, thank you, everyone, with the no further business, we're going to adjourn our meeting.